I remember running through the streets one morning, right? Because you know I get up, I do my little routine, do my little runs, and I'm on one of my runs, right? And I'm jogging, and I'm looking around the scenery, right? This is in Ontario, and I started to notice that there's no graffiti on the walls. There's like no none of those black gum marks on the ground and stuff like that. And that may not mean nothing to you, but I was born and raised in South Central LA, and there's no shortage of graffiti on the walls. There's no shortage of those little black gum marks that just be stuck on the cement, stuck on the sidewalk. And I noticed when I was running in Ontario, there wasn't none of that, right? And it made me think like, man, whoever's in charge of keeping the streets of Ontario clean, who's ever in charge of making sure ain't none of those black little gum marks or none of that graffiti on the wall, whoever's doing that, man, they killing the game right now, right? And then as I'm continuing to run, right, I get up to a stoplight, and right before I could get to the stoplight, this car, like, it screeches right up against the red light, right? And I'm like, dang, like, man, I'm so glad that them stoplights are working, because if them stoplights had not been working, who knows, I could have got hit by that car, right? So it made me think again. I was like, man, who's ever in charge of making sure that the stoplights are operating at 3 a.m. in the morning, man, they on top of their job, right? And then when I finished my run, I stopped at the grocery store, right, at Stater Brothers, because I need to get some protein. Can't let them gains go to waste, right? And so I asked the manager, I'm like, yeah, manager tell me like, what's up, man? I'm like, yeah, I just need some protein. He tell me what aisle to go to, right? I go to that aisle, ain't no protein there, right? So I let the people know, like, hey, ain't no protein on this aisle. So they had to get the stock boy to go back and go get the protein, fill the protein back up, the protein that I needed, right? I get my protein or whatever, and then I go in the line, I go to pay, the cashier rings me up, right, my protein, and then the bag person puts my protein in a bag, boom, I get my little protein shake or whatever, and I'm starting to walk out the door. But then I realized something. I'm like, man, so just for me to get my protein, it took the manager who had to open up the store, right? It took the stock person who had to go back and get the protein because the protein wasn't on the shelf. It took the cashier to ring me up for my protein. And then lastly, it took the bag person to put the protein in the bag and send me on my way. And it made me think like, dang, I needed 4 people just to make sure I got my protein. But even before that, I needed the guy who took care of the stoplights to make sure that I ran through safe streets. And not only that, but it took the person who was in charge of making sure no graffiti was on the walls, no trash was in the streets, no gum, none of them black gum sticky marks was on the cement, on the running way, on the pavement, or on the sidewalk. It took all of those people to make sure that I got what I needed. So you know what that made me realize? That made me realize that I need people. I need people to get up and handle their business. I need people to get up and do their job so I can run through clean streets. I need people to get up and do their job and handle their business so that I can run through safe streets. I need people to get up, handle their business, and do their job just so I could get some protein. So you know what that also made me realize? That also made me realize that if I need people to get up and handle their business so that my needs and desires can be fulfilled, then you know what that must mean? That must mean that people also need me. People also need me. People also need me to get up and handle my business and do my job every day so that their needs and desires can be met. And I need you to know today, no matter what you're thinking, no matter what you've been through, no matter what you're about to go through, no matter what you think you're about to go through, I need you to know that somebody needs you. And somebody needs you to get up, handle your business, and do your job. And your job is to be the best possible version of yourself you can be. That's what it is. Get up, baby. Do your job. Handle your business and fulfill somebody's needs. Solve somebody's problems today and watch yourself go to another level. Let's get it. BTB up in this, baby.